Weep, Grana, Weep, Bong, and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all things Transformers and Transformers action figure related. And I'm coming back at you today with another news roundup. I do this every single Tuesday and Saturday on this channel, so if you like the sound of that, why not think about giving me a like, a share, and a subscribe, because it really does help me out.
And now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Kicking off today with Funby Studios, and Funby Studios teased this chair. Let me know down in the comments, where'd you recognise this chair from? The best third-party company name ever, Banana Force, now showed off their MP04 Orion Predator, and this thing looks incredible. It looks so nice. We showed a few more pictures of it last week. We've seen some of the pictures of the prototype and all this kind of stuff, but these are more of the official photos now, and actually with its accessories, with its massive power axes, matrix in the chest, highly posable, non-transformable. I think it might actually have some light up features as well, and magnets all over the body so that you can change pieces out to make it look different. Really cool. Banana Force, pretty expensive. I don't own any of these figures, but yeah, it's just a thing of beauty, right? Something I've been covering on this channel is ArchCore. ArchCore coming very soon. Some of the figures are out already, but the only one that I'm interested in is this one currently, and that is Frostlight, which is kind of a Warhammer inspired take on Optimus Prime, but the alt mode looks like Megatron from Dark of the Moon. Oh, it's sick, it's sick. Norse god Warhammer type stuff meets Transformers. I'm all over it. One of my favourite third-party legend scale figures are IRONFACTORY or IF or whatever it is that you want to call them, but IRONFACTORY are absolutely awesome and killing it this year. They've released some great figures, and this apparently is coming out at the end of October, which is the month that we're in right now, and this is their take on Powerglide. Love this figure. I think this is an awesome looking Powerglide. I love what IRONFACTORY do. They kind of take a G1 aesthetic and just change it enough to make you think, yeah, that's nice. That's a nice looking thing. Pre-orders are up in places like Shozy and things like that at the moment. Really nice. As I said before, legend scale, so it's not a massive figure, and with it being a smaller figure within the legend scale, I would imagine that this one is quite small, but yeah, it looks absolutely gorgeous. X-TRANSBOTS went down to the hardware store and bought some spray cans, and now you can get a lot of their older kind of models, or even some of the new ones that are coming out, in multiple colors. X-TRANSBOTS definitely making a real push at the moment to get figures out there. This yellow one is very nice looking. I believe this one is a throwback to a 1986 tailgate. Looks very nice. I'm waiting for the Knight Rider version of this though. Give me a black one with an LED going. Give me Kit. Give me Kit in that mold XTB if you want me to pick that one up, because that would be outstanding. Also, a pretty nice callback to Tap Out as well. Obviously, this is just a recolor of their take on CLIFFJUMMPER, but there, this turquoise is pretty nice, and then this super blue take on it as well. I'm not sure which figure this one calls back to, so please give it a shout down in the comments. And then there's also a pure white version as well of this mold, so they are going all out on these molds, getting the most that they can from it. For me though, yeah, there's like I say, for me with X-TRANSBOTS at the moment, there's some bridges that need to be built before I can think about picking up any of the figures here. And speaking of the bridges that need to be built, obviously those bridges, when I speak about that, refer back to Locke and their take on Cup that basically fell apart in everybody's hands when they picked it up. And they did do, or somebody did release a video that I'll link down in the description to their take on Cup and the differences that they've made with it, so you can actually watch a full video of the transformation and see some of the changes that they've made. The devil will definitely be in the detail here with this one. You can see some of the improvements. Yeah, it's good. Nothing pops off, nothing breaks during the transformation, so that's a good thing. For me, That chest piece though, even in this video, the whole chest, the head segments and the maneuvering of the arms, trying to get those into place, it still seems really overly complicated. So I hope there's enough tolerance within there to allow people to be able to transform it correctly. The minifigures, there were paint issues obviously historically with the minifigures as well, and if you watch my video on this you will see that I found a lot of paint issues, but also some tab issues on the legs, and from what I saw in this video, I'm not 100% sure that that's been fixed on one of the figures as well. So it's just going to be really super interesting to see when I get this figure in hand. Have they done enough? Those tabs on the backpack are still really small as well. They did get them to tab in during the video, but I do have to say they did look like they were struggling to get those tabs in. On mine, those tabs definitely don't go in correctly. So yeah, it's going to be super interesting just to see what it's like when you get it in hand. Heading over now to Planet X and their Planet X take on an IDW inspired Grimlock. We have even more pictures of this bad boy, and there's also, again, there's a video up of the full transformation of this figure, and yeah, this thing looks just incredible. I cannot wait. I think this is definitely, because some of the other figures that I have on pre-order, I'm still not 100% sure they're dropping this year. This is definitely my most anticipated figure of the year at the moment. I can't wait to get this dude in my hands. It looks so smooth. The transformation doesn't look overly complicated, and they did a lot of testing, and this is something that I really hate, is when ratchets don't hold the figure in place. But they did a lot of tolerance testing during this video, kind of putting the leg up, shaking the dude up and down, so I liked that I could see how strong ratchets. They showed the height of this dude, and he's a big boy. He's bigger than any Grimlock that I have in my collection at the moment, and I want the biggest Grimlock possible, right? This dude is supposed to be huge. He saw that he has really great articulation, especially in his bot mode, which is pretty good because sometimes Grimlock can suffer from articulation issues, but what is incredible is all of the articulation that you get within this alt mode of the dinosaur as well, and a little LED. So I was right, he does get some LED features now in his head as well, and a dino tongue as well, an articulated tail, articulated hands, articulated feet, all kinds of good stuff. I cannot wait. The alt mode and the bot mode, both much bigger than Prime, in the Optimus Prime. We can see the full listing here of how tall this dude actually is. Look at it, those sharp teeth as well. Absolutely awesome. The video is great. The figure looks incredible. I can't wait. Next up, we head over to the world of THREEZERO for the MDLX line, and they showed off a Megatron, an Optimus Prime, and a RODIMUS Prime. So these are non-transforming figures, but they have loads and loads of posability and always have a lot of accessories as well, so they look cool. Super high price though, and for me, if it doesn't transform, it's not for my collection. Speaking of things that are not for my collection, Super 7 have shared a couple of interesting figures. This one is quite comical, and I have to say that if this was transforming, I'd be all over this, but it's non-transforming, so this is basically a Christmas version of Optimus Prime. What would you call this dude? Would you call him Chris Prime? Prime Kringle? Optimus Kringle? Optimus Claus? Optimus Santa Prime? Santa Prime. I think I'd land on Santa Prime. Let me know your thoughts on this one down in the comments. It's a bit of fun, but all in all, the reaction figures are just not for my collection, and they're not great. Staying with Super 7 then, they also are releasing their take on Bumblebee. So this is a lot bigger, and you can remove the chest. It has about 1, 2, I think it has like 3 or 4 points of articulation. This is really quite expensive as well for what it is, but they are like pretty big size. Certainly the Prime and the Megatron were fairly big, but yeah, if you want to look inside Bumblebee's chest, I guess it's okay. Transformers 7 Rise of the Beasts is currently filming in Peru, which means that we are seeing all kinds of bots. So we can see NIGHTBIRD, MIRAGE, Optimus, Volkswagen bot, whatever that is. And we also see SCOURGE and all kinds of things. And these all look incredible. Optimus Prime, actually, all the way through this so far, what I've seen is probably the best looking Prime that we've seen in a live action movie. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. But SCOURGE is something else. SCOURGE is incredible. Love this. This is basically SCOURGE, aka what evolved into what would be a Nemesis Prime. Really quite interested to see all these badges on the front. Are these his hit count? Is this his body count on the front of there? Because that'd be quite cool. We also got a closer look then at Bumblebee. And again, for me, this is an awesome looking Bumblebee. I'm okay with him not just being a Volkswagen Beetle. And this off-roader is pretty cool. So this is Bernie's towing company as well. I'm not sure what that's a reference to. Let me know down in the comments if you know a little bit more about that than I do and what that's an actual reference to. We see Optimus Prime, SCOURGE, and some of the other bots driving around on this sand. But apparently, some of the filming has now been cancelled for a little bit due to the rain and the weather in Peru cancelling some of this, so they're having to extend their time out there. The rainy season, obviously, wherever it is in the world, in those places of the world, that can be a lot worse than anything certainly we're used to, even in Manchester, where I am in the UK. I have to say, all in all, I'm still excited about this, and the more I see of the alt modes, actually, the more excited I get about it. So yeah, fingers crossed. Like any Transformers project, you always hope for the best. Last week we saw some pictures of Shoki, so this is the first piece of what I now do believe is going to be a Masterpiece take on Raiden. Last week I was very unsure. I saw conflicting reports about whether or not this was kind of mainline size or if this was going to be an MP, and now this is pretty much guaranteed to be an MP, and it comes with a lot of accessories. It comes with a piece of track as well that turns into a stand, and we can see the robot mode here and the train mode. Looks pretty cool. But let's talk price. The price of this dude is not cheap whatsoever. The price of this dude is actually going to be coming in at around $200 for this one. So for those of us in the UK, that's going to be about 180 quid probably, or the way that Hasbro are doing their pricing at the moment, 200 quid, because why not? Because that's how they work. Some people did some really nice side-by-side shots as well, but this means that the whole combiner could probably come in at maybe even over a $1,500, or maybe even a little bit more than $1,000. It's a lot. It really is a lot for this combiner. I'm not sure if this is something I'm going to even attempt to start, if I'm honest. Does it look good? Yeah. It definitely looks good. Am I interested in this figure? No, probably the Moon Studios one still looks better to me. But yeah, interesting to see the height. So it's about up to Ultra Magnus's waist. And some people did some messing around actually with the image that Takara put out, and apparently if you switch around some of the contrast on it, you get a better look at the combiner. So if we have a look here at this, what happened to Raiden's head? What happened to Raiden's head? Yeah, I'm not sure if that picture is 100% real, but we can see here on one that they did release with the flashing eyes coming out there, Raiden's head looks a little small. Over $1,500 potentially for the full combined version, and the head's so small. Takara showed off this kind of anti-grab stand or something like that, or like a floating type stand, and then the figure that it comes with, or the figure that they showed off to go on this stand, definitely would weigh a lot of things down. I saw a couple of people post up that this is Optimus Prime in his retired couch potato days. This obviously just a recolor of Ultra Magnus, basically the cab from Ultra Magnus, and yeah, it just looks awful. Just looks terrible. I see no reason to have this one in my collection at all. It does not excite me. Let me know if it excites you. But something that definitely does excite me is Transformers Legacy. So this week we got a real snapshot at what the logo for Transformers Legacy looks like, and it is metal! It's metal as all anything. Love it. Absolutely fantastic. And the first figure that's kind of been a little bit teased is this Cybertronian take on Metroplex. I don't have a Metroplex in my collection at the moment, and from the looks of this one, nice. Give it to me. I'm all about a few more Cybertronian takes on anything. Siege was definitely something that I loved because I loved the Cybertronian takes on all of the figures. So if they're going to go back to that and give us some more Cybertronian takes in Legacy, I'm all for it. Give me the Cybertronian days. Wheeljack. You've given us the Bumblebee, give us the Wheeljack. And for all of you STARSABER fans, well done if you've backed the STARSABER goals, because it's now gone up to over 17,000 backers, which means you've reached goal tier 2, so you get the stand that you desperately need to put the spaceship on. Nice, well done, and congratulations to everybody if you did back this project. So that is everything from me today on this Saturday version of my Transformers news. This channel is still pushing towards that 4K mark. Hopefully we'll hit it by the end of this month. Thank you all so much for your support. As always, let me know your thoughts on everything down in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Alright guys, in a bit. Peace!